know shit. You don't know shit, but shut up, Marshall. Shut your goofy white ass up, Marshall.
Let me answer this. You are oil. Hold on, I'm it's not about oil, it's about geoposition. Argumentation that it's about oil. There's literally no fucking backing.
Geoposition. You
work with energy. I work with energy. Stop, nigga. What industry do you work in? Bullshit. You're absolutely fucking full of it. Nigga, everybody
absolutely fucking full of it. Every time you mention on your stage, the last hour and a half that I've been in here, you have been
I'll be letting these white people
Marshall, shut your pasty face ass up.
shot because you can't bother me.
Man, y'all really think I'm smarter than us. Y'all not. I really was just a nuclear power plant in Pennsylvania a month ago.
I'll continue to say
very nice way would just be like impaired cognitive functioning. There's things we'd see in a clinical setting.
Yeah, I think Randy Fine was using him as a dishonestly attach that guy to the anti-Iran, anti-Israel criticism.
Randy Fine wants all of the gods and children to starve to death since he don't eat fucking UN food aid.
Exactly. Jew. Okay.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that. See, here's the thing, though, is I do see. Hold on.
It literally fits the
dictionary. They can stick it. And the Jew that insisted that anti-Semitism is that definition can stick it right up their Jewish ass. But you're wrong. It wasn't. You're wrong. It wasn't. Overwhelmingly Jews.
With that definition.
The word got made up. No, the word got made up by a German. By a German, I know.
The word was made up by anti-Semites.
Yes, I know, a German. No, but the definition of it, like this IHRA definition, that is a Jewish construct. It absolutely is a Jewish construct.
The definition of the term has always been the definition that is in place now. So you're just wrong, Pepe, on this one.
Should we go through the IHRA definition? It's very anti-Christian, by the way.
I don't know what your point is.
You know what's going to happen? You guys should all be praying. You should be on your fucking knees repenting. Because you guys will face the Holocaust, and that is when Jesus Christ returns and he throws you into the most fiery pit, the oven of hell.
I'm glad you're having a lot of fun with this entertainment, but it obviously doesn't have anything to do with our debate. What we should have recognized is Pierre demonstrated his intelligence by the fact that he stood in front of a nuclear power plant sometime in the recent past.
That's a good.
He literally said that.
No, I know he did.
I'm not. It's the point was that he was smart. He was.
Marshall is Butters?
I mean, that guy is retarded. He came in here. He came in the room to fight.
If I'm Butters from South Park, I will fucking take that. Butters is occasionally cool, so, you know, I'll take it.
Butters is Anglo-Saxon, and I don't think you can beat him, bro. You're Kyle.
No, I am not English, Irish, and French, so I'm very pale.
You're crypto.
No, he's not a Jew. He's definitely not a Jew.
Then why would he have a fat Jew in his poster? Like, why? Why is he a fucking fat Jew? Like, what is the appeal to white Americans for Randy Fine?
Oh, you're talking about Randy Fine. No, Randy Fine is a disgusting fat ass.
Like, why is Marshall not a Jew?
No, he's
That's
not.
what I'm talking about. Yeah, what's his appeal to Randy Fine then? What's appealing to him? Like, he's fat. He doesn't even mock. So why do you, are you Jewish? Why do you like Randy Fine?
Not that I just like Randy. I thought I liked her just like Randy. I just don't like the industry of saying something about an entire
The definition of it. Like this IHRA definition as a Jewish construct. It also means a Jewish punishment. So you're just wrong. Quit lying. No, we should go through the IHRA definition. It's very anti-Christian, by the way.
I'm talking about Randy Fine. You know, in high school, I had one of my.
I know, but now you want them all. Yeah, you want all of one of my best friends.
Yeah, bro, I don't. Jews.
One of my best friends was
Yeah,
Jewish,
I know,
but I ended up throwing my shit out and showing big fucking rock on him to make sure he was dead afterwards.
What do you mean by organized Jews?
I care about organized Jews and what they do. I don't care about individual Jews.
Well, damn.
Like
Why
ADL,
you should call them out by name?
that's another thing.
Israel,
That's another
And the problem with the state we don't have with
It's not that you're against organized Jews. You're against civic organized Jews, like the two organizations you mentioned. So you should mention those names. It's like me saying I'm against organized blacks because I'm against some black organization. That would be inappropriate to say.
Let me rephrase or let me clarify. So I believe that Jews, that they act as a state within a state because they're transnational and they're stateless. So wherever they are, they all work together. They have an inside bias. Basically, that they're all.
They're rootless. No, that's true. They're rootless. No, they're rootless cosmopolitans with their.
well,
That's
groups always tend to have their preferences. In-groups always tend to have their preferences. We're not talking about anything more than preference in an in-group.
And these people, they all work together in tandem in key industries.
This is called
like, and they're
racism, anti-Semitism.
The Jews don't run Hollywood. You're a fucking bigot for even thinking that. It's such bullshit.
Oh yeah.
All I gotta say is this is an awful lot of explanation for a statement that was overly simplistic and broad. Like you didn't need to argue with me. You could have just said, Marshall, I really didn't intend to. Sorry. Like that's not how I see it. Instead, you had to broaden your statement and go, well, I only mean it this way, and I only mean it this way. And then Pepe was like, come on, bro, you don't like Jews.
No, I'm not gonna concede that I hate every single Jew. No.
Ones that practice Judaism and like Israel.
Just most of them.
Yeah, I would say a lot of them that are, yeah. I guess it would be a lot.
That's like the definition of bigotry. I'm sorry, just like if you want to look at double check me, look at Merriam-Webster.
That's Jew written by Jews. Not gonna do it.
So if I hate a lot of Germans during Nazi Germany, would that be like racist or ism? Like,
Would be.
Yeah, maybe we're never talking about
we were talking. So what? For Jews, like how Jews made the term Nazi.
Very specific organizations that you mentioned you don't like. You don't like the ADL. You don't like APAC.
Yeah, the ADL does suck.
That is not racist.
It's called Marxism. We already have a word for it. It's called Marxism. Marxism. That's when Jews are supremacists and hate us. It's called
Yeah, so all those things you're talking about are bigotry.
Okay, Nazi. Nazi.
No, it's Marxist.
I guess.
That is a term that they can't. It's like a decade old. Like that's the Jews that think that they are so. They deserve everything because they have some divine right to be the light of the world and to rule everything and basically be the ones that influence everything and all of that is Marxism and you need to call those fuckers out.
Yeah.
Don't let that hoity-toity Jew get on his pedestal and say how, you're an anti-Semite. No, you say, shut your mouth, Jew, in the name of Jesus Christ.
In God's
And
name.
you put him in his place.
that worked so well for the Catholics when they tried it the first fucking time.
Yeah, they will do it again.
Yep.
What you're saying goes against the Catholic Church. So you want to be anti-Catholic,
No, I'm
but
a
it goes
crusader.
against the Catholic Church.
I'm a fucking crusader.
Well, you reject the Catholic Church.
No, I
You
don't.
reject the authority of the Pope. You reject the authority of the Vatican Council. And that's a position you can take, but it's an anti-Catholic.
No. It's perfectly in line.
No, it goes against the Catholic Church. Doesn't fit with the Catholic.
Christianity condemns the Jews.
Not the Catholic Church, though. The Catholic Church does not. The Catholic Church is very specific on
All of a sudden, the 2,000 years, all of a sudden, after 2,000 years, the church ends up putting out this opinion that, it's not right to blame the Jews for killing Jesus. Even though they did kill him,
It's not after 2,000 years. So if you knew
Almost
the history
2,000
of the church, no, nowhere near 2,000 years. If you knew the history of the church, you would know that this position evolved over time, and they were not always anti-Jewish.
Mostly anti-Jew, parted anti-Jewish.
No, they weren't. No.
The history of
They started as a Jewish sect. They were not anti-Jewish.
The history of
developed over time, and the phenomenon you're talking about is a medieval.
I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Quit talking to us, fellow Christians, and trying to.
Dude, you can say whatever you
You're
want.
you are trying
history
to manipulate a Christian.
I'm not trying to manipulate
Evil Jewish thoughts.
Keeping to history. You're the one that's denying the Catholic Church.
No, I'm upholding the Catholic Church.
No, you're not.
Dear Jesus, please strike the Satan out of this wicked Jew's body, please, so he can be saved. Amen.
You're going against what the Vatican Council says. You're a heretic. You made Marshall leave.
Praise God.
I think Pierre was moved down, and I think Marshall left.
Praise the Lord.
And Pepe took a chill pill.
So Bavarian, what's your dog in this fight? What you standing on?
I'm on Team Pepe, bro.
He's an Arab Muslim. We get along.
Exactly. I'm Arab, bro, but yeah, bro, I fucked with everything that he said. I fucked with Nick Fuentes, and to be honest, I listened to Hitler's speeches in English, and the first 20 minutes made me cry.
Praise be to the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
So Pepe, you're saying you're pro-Hitler now?
You didn't know that already? He's like my fucking idol. Holy shit.
So Bavarian, what's the reason you don't like Jews?
Because they captured every single industry, right? From banking to steel to the military industry, like everything, including the media. They social engineer the people with the media, right? So that's why we have feminism, LGBT, that's people are retarded. Every problem you can trace back to them. And they fucked up the economy, they run the banks, they're making us poor, we can't afford a home. When 30 years ago, we can do that working at McDonald's. So what happened? They're devaluing the currency, they're making us go to wars. They're fucking up my country. I shouldn't even be here. I should just live my own homeland with my oil money. That's how I'm supposed to be living.
Bavarian, if that's true. So Bavarian, if all of that is true, why did they let you own? Why did they let you own a home 30 years ago then?
Bro, if it was affordable.
Right, but why did they allow it to be affordable? Why did they allow it to be affordable 30 years ago?
Bro, because they didn't manipulate the markets the way that they have today. They didn't
Well, they didn't control the markets then, so the
All the Jewish speculators, the Jewish hedge fund managers, the greedy Jew.
Right, and before they weren't Jews, but then they suddenly became Jews.
No, the ones that weren't Jews, the one anti-Semite you guys hate so much, Mr. Ford, he even said, I will not pay my employees a wage where they cannot easily afford one of my automobiles. And then his whole problem is because the Jew financiers came in, they're like, we can get some schmeckles out of these people. Let's not pay them these guys a silly living wage. And they tried to just
So Pepe, when did this happen?
I don't remember, but this happened, bro.
Oh, you don't remember, but you know it happened. Oh, okay.
The international Jew.
You guys never heard of Federal Reserve.
I have a question for you, Marianne. You said the Jews did all this stuff, right? So why did they miss indoctrinating you?
You said what?
Why did they?
Because I'm Muslim at the end of the day, I'm Arab. we already know that the Jews are fucked up.
I know, but
So
why did they?
Growing up, I never believed the Holocaust.
Yeah, Catholics and Muslims have immunity through our faith. Like, we don't come to the Jews like.
Exactly. Let me talk to him, please.
As a kid, I didn't believe in the Holocaust.
I know. I understand all the stuff you said. I got it. My question is, you are so indoctrinated by this one people group that you are. If they did not indoctrinate you, why are you so focused on?
Bro, they indoctrinate everyone in, most of the society.
But in you, though, how did you get so indoctrinated by the rhetoric that you say?
Indoctrinated by what rhetoric? I don't get it by Jewish rhetoric?
Yes.
How am I indoctrinated by Jews? I don't support Jews.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute, hold on. You don't support them. How do you get rich if you don't support them?
You said what?
How do they make money not participating and giving the money?
When I buy things because they own all the corporations. Well, that's no choice. I can't live Amish.
You can live. You could live Amish. Why can't you be Amish?
Well, I'm not. First of all, I'm not Amish.
You're not. I know. My question goes back.
Bro, I can't really do that. It's hard for me to do. I don't have the money. I don't have
Jews are ethno-religion. You can't just join.
Okay, hold on, Peppy. I got it.
I own farmland, bro.
I got it. I know that. And do you think all the land around the world are owned by Jews?
No, but I was born here in America, bro.
I know that.
They destroyed my home country by the Jews and America.
Okay, so give me one thing. I just want one thing. What have the Jews destroyed that you know that affects you?
America.
Okay. America,
No.
exactly.
No. Give me something specific. That's too broad.
So, they did the banking system and the economy. So we can't afford it.
Okay. No. You're doing multiple things. Okay, thank you. Please explain to me, how did the Jews destroy banking?
So, first of all, they monopolized banks, right?
Alright, I agree. You know what? Right now,
fractional reserve banking. Like their banking policies like that. Like they lend out majority of what's in the bank.
I blame Uncle Nasty for all of this shit, fam. He's the one that
So I'm asking this last question. This is my last question for you. Do you know how many total Jews there are in the world?
Yeah, 5 of them.
Okay. How many total Jews in the world?
5.
They're like 0.02 of America in the world. In Israel, there's like 15 million. I don't know how much around the world exactly.
It's like 16 or 17 million, I think. So,
Okay. So thanks, Effie. So let's say there's 16 million. There's 8.4 billion people on planet Earth. If what you want me to believe is that these 16 million people is controlling the whole world. That's what you want me to believe,
You
right?
know that they own the slave markets and the slave
No.
markets.
Hold on.
The markets were closed.
Dude, they did not own the slave markets. That's not.
Hold on, guys.
They were
Listen, I'm gonna ask
closed on Sabbath, not Saturday.
hold on. I'm gonna say this to you again. I'm gonna say this to you again. You want us to believe that 16 million religious Jews or non-religious Jews run the whole world and work. Okay, hold on. So is that what you're submitting to all of us? I just want to make sure.
I believe that they have monopolies in key industries, and that allows them to act as a state within a state.
So that's exactly what you expect us to believe.
All right.
You expect us to believe on a planet of 8 billion people and 16 million people controlling it?
Before anything, can I ask you one question?
Let's get back to specifics.
Can I ask you one question?
So he said that fractional reserve banking was an example of the Jews taking over the banking system. Fractional reserve banking in the United States goes back to 1781. So don't give me this BS that this had the Jews were behind it.
I said that's one of their policies.
You controlled
Yeah, but
banking
you're
back
wrong.
in the 1700s.
Because it's
Just
been
because
predates.
it's considered
It goes
unbelievable
back to
dirty
1781.
That's one
So
of
there's
their
always been
policies.
fractional reserve banking in the United States. It's not because of the Jews. It's
Because it was considered dirty, because they had to cut interest rates, so you shoved the Jews into doing it.
That's
So
not
there
true.
are
That-
a lot of
that-
people who are Jewish in banking, but they don't control anything.
They made the Civil Rights Act and the immigration policies. They brought me to this fucking country.
They create the immigration policies in the United States.
Jews control the immigration policy?
Perhaps there's a few things. First of all, we can look at the far radical left and the very prominent roles that is a lot of Jews, to say the least, in the U.S. But if you look at the 1965 Hart-Celler Act, that was something that was spearheaded by Jews in particular, and there's several reasons for it. But long story short, Brunei, Brit, whatever the ADL was called before, they're the ones who had really pushed for it. They ended up getting somewhat of a coalition, mainly with Italians, because the nation of the national quota that we had for the nation of origins, which favored Western Europe, disfavored Southern and Eastern Europe. And so they ghostwritten. They can go on ADL's website. They ghostwritten a book.
God bless America! Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay.
Jews did feel uncomfortable living in a country that was largely homogenous, where they were racist. Those kinds of populations usually turned on them. And also, they felt like there was a great injustice done when ships were turned back from Germany and Eastern Europe, where Jews ended up basically having to face the Holocaust. So those were their main motivations, I guess you could say. But yes, it I'll just use the term spearheaded by Jews. Civil Rights Act, that was the quote-unquote white people that were with Dr. Martin Luther King. Jews in the ADL brag about this. I mean, that's widely known. They did take a very leading role in civil rights. So, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know much, Pepe. Try reading a history book sometime. I'd like to answer the question of why are you jealous of Trump? That's really just a fake title, kind of like a lot of the bullshit that Pepe says about Jews, because he's got a limited scope of understanding and very limited awareness of who the Jews are, what they do, when everybody's personal lives is all about. Pepe just spreads his misinformation and hate speech because he's low IQ and he's got brain rot. But the truth about Trump is that everyone on this app, from liberal to Democrat, anybody with hate in their heart is merely projecting onto our glorious orange president because he's evergreen. Evergreen means catch-all. And so if you hate something about yourself, many people project that onto Trump, and that's called ad hominem projection. In the same way that Pepe projects onto the Jews his own inferiority complex, lack of intelligence, lack of self-esteem, lack of height, lack of decorum, because any young man that says the N-word 100,000 times in just a couple of years and praises Hitler clearly was a boxer for too long, and he's got brain mush, brain rot. That's where the actual hard part of the frontal cortex dissolves and liquefies, and you become the R-word, very much like Pepe and other R-word people who spend 40 hours a week thinking about J-words when they could be reading a book, going to the gym, making money, making love to a woman, doing something, gardening, woodworking, anything other than talking about a group of minorities because their self-esteem is in the garbage. I rest my case, and I am complete. Hello?
Bro was yapping. I swear to God.
Yapping.
Could not follow it.
Because he knows speak English. That was a good roast. Gotta record all these good roasts, you know?
Is this room going or not? Is it shit down? Oh. Green. That's all. That's the green. Okay. The reason why is you just can't even get happy.
Looking at, I got a heart from Miriam, because Bavarian, I hear, obviously doesn't speak English, couldn't understand a word I said. And so again, if you are living your life and you don't like the J words, well, do you know how much history there is to actually sort through and look up? I was putting some links in the chat about when Americans, for the first time, went to war against the Muslims in Tripoli. Because these cocksuckers were running slave rackets and they wanted America to pay them their jizya. And you know what? That Ummah, we busted their asses. And we got our soldiers back, but we still paid them $60,000 when our commander said, fuck that, don't give them nothing. So there's always conflict. And not many people know that America actually went to war with France after the French Revolution and they killed their king. And we said, all right, well, your loan is canceled. And now, because you're attacking us, we are going to wage war against France. You see how political treaties and allies can change overnight? In the same way that I hope you'll stop your Jew hate. It's so stupid. Try reading a fucking book. Try doing something with your life instead of screaming into a conference call that you think the J words are in control of all the industries and making your life miserable. Sounds to me like you're just a fucking complainer. A chronic, Complaining little cunt that needs to go to the gym and read a book and do something with your life. Try to be productive. Hello? Try playing music. Maybe you're going to want to get a music instrument one day, and maybe you're going to want to start a band. Because you could make more money in music and create libraries of music than J-word hate speech all day. What do you think about that, you fucking loser? And maybe you're going to want to start a band. Not many people like the Beatles, but at least they didn't spread hate messaging all day long because their brains were the size of my fucking testicle. You know, you got little brain syndrome. You need to be creative in life. You can't just go around complaining all the time like Pepe. That makes you pathetic. No woman can respect a man that screams into his phone J-word hate speech all day or even N-word speech all day. Hello? Hello? This is the John Kitover Band bringing you your reverse engineered anti-Semitic reverse hate speech propaganda of the day to defeat the low IQ rats.
If you want to talk about the music industry, don't Jews use the music industry to spread degeneracy to Christians? Don't they spread porn?
Don't the Muslims call the non-believers the enemy and they gotta pay a jizz tax, a tribute to their ummah? Sounds to me like the Democrats, basically. In-group, out-group. I want liberty. And you know what? That means I get to consume what I want to consume. That means I get to think what I want to think. Feel what I want to feel. Say what I want to say. I'm not a Muslim, okay? I'm free. I'm in America, and we wage war against the Muslim pirates, the slave masters of Islam, the blackmailers and the blood money Muslim hustlers, the terrorists, the mafia. We'll fight them all. Hello?
Invade and conquer parts of Europe. They opened the castle gates for the Muslims in Iberia. And Muslims had it for 800.
And guess what year it is right now, motherfucker? It's 26, and we will blow up any cocksucking terrorist Muslim motherfucker and send them straight back to Allah. Hello?
When the Spanish Inquisition was happening, they kicked out both the Jews and Muslims together because the Jews were helping the Muslims conquer Spain.
Oh yeah, post the link to that, big guy. Let's read your history. Guess what? Guess what the racist Christians of Spain did when they kicked the Muslims out? They were like, you know what? Let's kick them all out because we hate everybody. That's what happened, man. It's not because the Jews were conspiring to overthrow the Christians. Besides, again, it's 2026, and we got a constitutional Republican form of democracy here. I don't know what century you live in, you fucking Muslim rat, but it's 2026, bitch, and you better come in compliance, or we will send the Marines back into your country to teach you a lesson that you will never forget. Hello?
Thanks for the harmonica.
Oh no, I agree. Trust me, I agree. We'll talk about it in a second. That was one of the ages. Oh my gosh. Edward.
I ended up knowing that I ended up liking.
Hey, Edward, don't the Jews spread degeneracy with the entertainment industry?
I'm sorry. Hold on, 1 second. Peruvian, what do you say?
Don't the Jews spread degeneracy with the entertainment industry that they have a monopoly on?
I have no clue. Where you get that information from?
Yeah, so do the Jews, do they have a monopoly in Hollywood?
I have no clue. I don't know a Jew in Hollywood. No, do you know a Jew in Hollywood?
The obvious answer, though, they do have a monopoly on Hollywood.
Pepe, hold on. I'm going to be honest with both of you. I've never met a Jew who owns anything in Hollywood, the music or anything else. I don't know them. So I'm going to claim that I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm being honest with you.
How many shekels did they pay you, bro?
Okay, first of all, I'm trying to be real with you, and I know that you like comedy, but I'm not a comedian, okay? I'm going to say to you again, I don't know a Jew that owns anything in Hollywood. I don't know a Jew that put out anything degenerate. I don't know them. Never met
I don't know them personally either, but people like Harvey Weinstein.
I know. Hold on, sir.
What about Dan Snyder?
Okay, listen to me.
You don't know these people? What are you talking about, Steve?
No, I don't know them.
You don't know Steven Spielberg?
Okay, hold on, guys, please. I'm going to say this to you again. If you believe that you can just get on any speaker or mic and just talk because you've heard of a name or saw it in the media, and now you're going to go out and actually proclaim it, it shows people how much more that you have zero evidence of anything. You just talk, people. Okay?
See, anybody can do ad hominem filibustering if you got no fucking life. If you come on a conference call to just create hate speech communication.
So, a Jew ended up responding. I forget which mainstream publication this was. He's like, no, actually, he's correct. We do run Hollywood. And those that ran all the major studios, all Jewish. Now, Jews they were the pioneers, the founders of Hollywood. So, you know, it's not like they infiltrated and did something, but that is one.
I know. Let me ask you a question, Pepe. You said they run it, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a question. So you're telling me that everybody that works in Hollywood is made to work there?
That doesn't change the fact of who ultimately runs it.
No. Just answer my question. You're correct. It does not change the fact who runs it. But I do have a choice of where I work. Correct?
Yeah. So.
And I don't work in Hollywood. I know no Jew in Hollywood. I don't know anything about the music they're putting out. And you know what? I don't choose to work in that industry or profession. So I hear you loud and clear. But what you asked me, and Berrigan asked me, do I know this? I do not have any first-hand evidence of who runs anything.
Okay.
I don't.
Forget it.
I posted something in the chat.
Alright,
So,
let's tell you that the Jews, we're telling you that the Jews have a monopoly in the entertainment industry, like music and freaking Hollywood, even news, and they socially engineer the public. They spread degeneracy.
In like your opinion, right? Because there's a lot of black musicians that might take, offense at what you say in Bavarian. You spreading a lot of Jew hate and a lot of bullshit. You should try to check your own society and your own culture before you start.
They don't understand what I say on Twitter.
Okay,
Elon is not
hey guys, if I can
Hitler.
Okay, one more time. I drop you guys because listen, I have no shame. Please.
I've been trying to say something. I don't know why they keep coming off the mic. Every time I say something, somebody come.
they joined the room.
Hello, Lee.
Yeah, moderated. Bavarian just said Heil Hitler. I think that's pretty fucking racist. You should probably kick that racist motherfucker to the goat.
So, this is what I want to do. I'm going to let Lady go, and then I like Matt and King to get into what happened this afternoon in their conversation, okay? So go ahead, Lady, and then we're going to go right to Matt. He's going to introduce our friend King.
Thank you. I apologize for interrupting. But I did post a link in the chat called Hollywoodism and the American Dream. It's a link you can look up on YouTube on how the Jews created Hollywood. It's a very, very interesting documentary about how they created like television, entertainment during that time, and this happened like after the First World War, which
was dealing with like Germany and I forget the other country they were born with. I don't know if it was the U.S., but um, I think it was the U.S. and Germany. I know the U.S. was a part of it, but anyway, it definitely was with how they started to curate and create entertainment, because that was during the time when the first black and white TV was made and all of that stuff. And that's making movies, and they created blackface and all of those things. So all of that.
Don't forget the technology involved to actually distribute, manufacture, produce films at scale, not just all the negative shit you're talking about.
I'm not almost done. But all I wanted to say, yeah, but just I wanted to say, like, the Khazarians and the Khazars is really what they make up of themselves, because they don't consider themselves white, like American, like they despise white men, like American white men. So that's very telling. But they created this Hollywood, and they control media, they control any outlets that influence large groups of people. And I'll land there.
Thank you for your intelligent.
I'm going to take a Berlin. 1 second. Okay, this is Berlin. Did you hear what I said is going to happen? I'm going to let her speak, and I'm going to turn it over to Matt. Okay, I'm going to copy her document because I don't have any information on it yet. I want to go through it. So go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
Appreciate it, Edward. Thank you. Katie, you want to start with the Kona?
Yeah, Ro Khanna. So, so Congressman Ro Khanna will be, and this is breaking. I have several people I've spoken to. I'm trying to wait for actual documented evidence, but he's going to, right now, he's pushing hard. He's getting money from donors in India and other places to push hard for H-1B legislation to increase the number of H-1Bs in this country. And he and Thomas Massie plan on exonerating Donald Trump to get Donald Trump to say, to push the bill and move it forward. So basically their plan is to say, hey, we'll tell everyone that your name is not in the files and your name is not anywhere if you back this legislation to increase the number of H-1Bs in this country. Now, I don't know what Massey gets out of it, but apparently that's the plan, and there's a ton of money coming into him, let's just put it that way. And he has his wife has estates and has a lot of that he claims he has no visibility into, but she has she's a multi-millionaire both in India and also in the United States. So yeah, so I don't know how he's getting the money, but that's all I know. So I just want to share that. And then you want to talk about what happened this morning, Matt?
Yeah, so I heard it off and on, so I don't know the whole story of what was going on, but if you want to give sort of the backstory, go for it. I mean, that was I heard that was incredible, but go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so, everyone's friend Ben was in Patty's room, and basically, so this guy came up, I forgot what that guy's name was, but he made a comment saying, the way Donald Trump, he was, talks to media and talks to reporters is horrible. A president should be more respectful when they're talking. And I said, okay, yeah, Donald Trump talks horribly to reporters, true. But other presidents have talked horribly as well. So, to have this expectation that they're always going to be respectful is ludicrous. And he said, no, it's only Trump. No one else did that. So then I said, what are you talking about? Then Ban jumps in to try to defend him. What are we talking about? Are you trying to compare Joe Biden? And then I went through, Biden basically cursing on a hot mic to Peter Doocy. And he goes, but then he apologized. I'm like, okay, so their natural intent is to do those things. And then, he also was pretty rude to Caitlin Collins. Goes, are you trying to equivocate that? I said, no, I'm not equivocating that. I said, the way Donald Trump talks to them is horrible. We could debate whether that's warranted or not, based upon what they're doing to him and what they're saying. But yeah, the way he talks is horrible, sure. Right? And should he talk that way? Probably not. If they're being
genuine and honest, but then he just went back and forth, and he was going nitpicking over, like, I sent him a source about, what the White House did to journalists under Biden, and had a quote from you were there for that, Matt. You had a quote from the president of the White House correspondence, and he's like, "Oh, it's not the president." I said, "Dude, the source says it on the bottom." He goes, "No, it's a different timeline." I'm like, "Dude, it says it on the article." Like, what the fuck? He goes, "Oh, he wasn't president at that time." I said, "So then Fox News is gaslighting." "No, they're not." I said, "Well, then, are they telling the truth?" "That's not what it says." I said, "Read the article. It says that in there." And he tried to change the whole thing because he was trying to defend Biden. It was pretty hilarious.
It was classic goat, you know what I mean? And the things that you are saying, I love the part where you were saying, well, did Biden say that? Do you remember all the times you asked Ban that? Because what Ban does is he what's the word? Not touches it up.
He projects.
Yeah, well, not only that, it just like he'll say stuff that people didn't say, right?
Right.
He has a wonderful language.
Right.
If you listen to him, so he'll put his spin on what we know what Biden really said, and just do a whole different narrative around what he said. Basically, like, you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
He was talking about, and he was like, question. He goes, "No, it's because she said, why, do you think, Vladimir Putin should do this?" I said, "So she asked him a question, and he got upset." "No, it's the context of, he didn't." I said, "Dude, you just said she didn't ask a question, and now you're saying it's because she asked a question." "That's not what I'm saying. There's context to it. He says, you're stupid because the way." I said, did he say that? Like, did he actually say that because you asked this, or did he just say you're stupid? Like, it doesn't make sense. And so he just was trying to justify it. And, whatever. In the end, I was like, I'm not going to go on. Yeah. I in the end relented because number one, I had to get back to work. Yeah. Yeah, no, I was like, "Look, I gotta go. All right, you're right. I shouldn't have called you a stupid, fucking piece of shit or whatever I called you. Yeah, you're right. I was wrong. Let's move on, Okay, yeah, you're right. I was wrong, man. You feel better, and all that. And just moved on. And that was like, yes, weird is true. No, that's not what I was saying. I said, you made the premise that you were trying to hurt me and trying to say you're equating the two. You're trying to say, no, I'm not trying to equate it. My premise is that Donald Trump is to say, he's ruder than any other president. Now I didn't say this, but we can talk about the merits of why he is, but yeah, he's ruder. And that's a fact. He's ruder. He's more of a jerk to reporters than anyone else. He uses horrible language to talk about them compared to any other president. But at the same time, you can't say that no president does it. Everyone has been respectful and talking to reporters. You can't say
that was your point. By the way, that's your whole point. Needs to end. You were saying that all presidents have been disrespectful.
Yeah, and Trump would, and I said, look, I conceded it. Yeah. Trump is worse. That's what he said. Trump is worse. But to make this premise that they should be respectful at all times, which is what this guy is saying, like, were you outraged when Biden was like, oh, then Ban says, oh, you gave only 2 examples. To say that he was horrible with 2 examples, dude, the guy was cherry picking his questions. He was so.
The problem is, all you're paying attention to is the media. You need to pay
attention to the facts, not the media. Pay attention to the fact bullshit. Stay away from it.
And maybe you're gonna want to
You need to, like, y'all need to download Newsmax.
Oh, yeah, because they're not buying it.
Literally, straight up. Newsmax. Go on Newsmax and you don't have, you choose who you want to listen to. You choose who you want to listen to. Like, you choose how you want to listen to me.
Bro, but check this out. But like honestly, like even Newsmax is a in news too in a way for our side, in that way. So I mean, you could probably find like down the middle, like somewhat reasonable. But yeah, what I was gonna say was, I mean, for how much shit Trump does get from the media. I mean, is the number 90% negative coverage? Is that real? Do they know that?
Negative coverage. But then, people like Ben will say, yeah, but he's got a whole network. Like, look at what he does with Laura Ingraham and all this stuff. And I was going to go down this road, but then I was like, if you guys were on stage, at least had a couple more people on stage, I would have done it.
Yeah.
But I was going to go down this road of saying, look, you want to go through this? Let's play this game. Right?
That's the area we have to be in. I don't know why anybody would want to challenge us in the media area. That's been
Matt,
my biggest thing so far is they've been complicit.
Well, Matt, they'll say Fox News list. The thing to be very clear on, and you can do it right now, Google Fox News nightly lineup, right? And you'll see that they don't consider 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. as news. They don't. But they call Abby Phillips news. They call, CNN calls Abby Phillips news. Right?
What's that dude? The guy the other.
Yeah, Anderson Cooper. They call him news. Wolf Blitzer. Yeah, McDonald, they call him. They call Caitlin Collins, they call her news, right? So they call these guys news, right? Now on Fox, they have Brett Baer. Brett Baer is probably their only true news anchor, and he's at 6 or 7, right? They have the 5 before that, which is like a talk show type thing, right? So to say that, well, look at Fox. Fox has a lot of viewers, but they're more about entertainment. It's like WWE, right? You watch it's entertainment, right? Yes, they're talking about the day's events. They're talking about news, but they're clear that our news is opinion, and they call it their opinion section. They don't call Laura Ingraham a news anchor. In fact, if there's news to be broken, she gets interrupted by an anchor who comes and says, here's what occurred. And
Laura's the
which is interesting. Right.
So how does anybody consider him a non-biased source? I mean, if you guys ever listen to that guy, I mean, it's just constant diarrhea, TDS on his part. I mean, I don't understand how anybody can think that anything that he's saying is not like completely biased, you know what I mean? And that's played all day over in the Lisa 420 lounge. I'm like, oh my god, like at least be like somewhat reasonable. Like I don't even think that guy's brought up one thing about Trump that's somewhat reasonable. That was my point. It's really bad. It's really like why can't I say that that's a propaganda arm of the media? Like why can't I?
You had a media that was complicit, except Fox, that was complicit in covering up for a president of the United States' mental condition because it was the right thing to do because it would make the Donald Trump faction excited. It would give him a reason to win. It would allow Republicans to take charge. So they made a knowing effort to say we're going to mislead the American public on this. And then you have Jake Tapper come out and write a book after the election. Because why write it? Because if we write it beforehand, then it could impact, him acting like he didn't know about this all the time. Meanwhile, these guys were complicit. See, it's interesting because people are still holding Jake Tapper in reverence. They're still holding Nora O'Donnell. I mean, what's his name? Dan was shit, but, you know, oh, look at what she said. I said, dude, you know, ask the question the way you ask it. Like, you know, oh, what do you mean? How should she ask it? She asked about his intentions. And I said, really? That was his intention? And you saw me where I got him on that? I said, you know, okay, let's read the manifesto. And then I read other intentions, which had to do with, you know, bombing children and all that stuff. She didn't read that. He goes, oh, sorry, she didn't read that. Then I was like, he talked about other crimes. Yeah, those go under crimes, don't they? So yeah, she did mention it. I said, oh, she didn't, bro. She mentioned one specific paragraph because she wanted to do a gotcha to Donald Trump and try to do that. She wasn't asking because the public deserved to know. If she wanted to, she could have read the whole manifesto. Well, probably she didn't have time. I said, dude, I could read it to you right now in 2 minutes. Are you saying she doesn't have 2 minutes of time to come on? Like, so what happens is people don't want to accept, especially on the left, that the media does this on purpose because that's the only way they can get their message out. Nobody wants to listen to their, you know, their shit. Nobody wants to listen to Abby Phillip talk. Nobody wants to listen to these people, right? And so, you know, they play this game. And I think it's important, Matt, that we hold that account. In fact, I would say we should do one room every month or every week or something on holding the media accountable and just talk about the most egregious reporting in the media.
And that goes for social media too, like all of it, not just.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
I mean, I think, and you bring that's a great point, because going into this next cycle of elections coming up, it's not that far away. I mean, 2 years flies pretty quickly. We're gonna have to be getting to that mode of holding things accountable again. You know what I mean? So we might as well start doing it. You're completely right on that. So.
And look at the gaslighting that's happening. I mean, right now there was, you know, I mean, you look at how the media and the propaganda of the Democratic Party has shaped some of the shit going on in this world is incredible. You have the German chancellor who's saying that Iran is essentially winning the war, right? Which is absolutely ludicrous. I mean, no, even Wall Street Journal won't say that. But you have the German chancellor saying why? Because they're reading shit that Hakeem Jeffries and others are talking about. And I think the problem here, honestly, is see, if you look at it, as a reporter asked Hakeem Jeffries, one reporter said, hey, your name was mentioned in the Epstein files. Are you going to return the money that was collected by donations? They mentioned once, your name was there, oh, we didn't even know that was an article, and then moved on and asked another question. Done. Right? Did what? I mean, is he going to say, hey, Bill Clinton, you know, seemed to do events for Democrats, and his name is all over the Epstein file. Are you guys going to disavow Bill Clinton? Like, even Fox won't ask that. Why? If there's certain areas we don't go. Well, they go there with Donald Trump, but you won't go there with them. Like, those are the problems that I have with the media, is that they seem to pick and choose when they ask the questions and how hard they ask it. And yet that Chinese chick, the one that was the White House correspondent, like Wei Zhang or whatever her name is, right? You know what she says? She says, Donald Trump, when he was there, he basically, and she was like nice. She was like, he was like, are you okay? And like he was like making sure she was all right. And I mean, you have what's his name? And I forgot his name, but I said it the other day. His name. Anyway, he's a reporter, I think with ABC or something, and he says the next day Donald Trump calls us 7 a.m. The media does this. Yeah, Trump calls us and says, hey, that's the only way. He's like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, it's still like, first part of me is like, Trump, you should just say fuck you to these guys, right? At the same time, he's like, hey, are you all right? Apparently, and she's not talking about it, but I heard from someone I know who knows them that Trump reached out and said, hey, Caitlin, I know you were supposed to get recognized today. You know, why don't you come one day to the White House? You know, meet some of the team here. Press shop will take you out. You guys can have some food or whatever here. And invited her to come one day to the. And she won't talk about it because CNN will be oh, you know, blah blah blah. But you know, those are. But and people say, well, anyone would do that. Well, sure, but would Hitler do it? I mean, you guys call him Hitler, right? So would Hitler do that? Like, you know, and so it's just you know, it's mind-boggling.
Maybe I'd be less on the media if say in that 60 days, we find ahead and watch, but if maybe it was, maybe like a question that is actually somewhat of interest to everybody. That makes sense, right? Not just one side. We don't get that anymore. Like, even as cheesy as it might sound, like just asking him about what does he think about the country, where do you think we're going? Like that's a simple question that never gets like asked anymore. I think if you go back like 10, 15, 20 years, you'll see a report asking our president that kind of question. You know what I mean? Like whatever happened to those kind of questions? All it is now is
Matt, we live in social media out in the world of trying to make headlines happen and trying to get.
Yeah. And people with money
Well, and they want to make money.
Backing these people in the States.
Yeah, I mean, they want to make money. And so you're looking at it, right? Everyone wants a headline. You look at it at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Shots fired. And the shooter's dead. The shooter's dead. And then, they want. But what bothers me is the media doesn't say, hey, guys, we made it. Hey, we made a mistake. We wrongly reported that the shooter was dead. They're just kind of going, oh, so the shooter's alive. Okay. And they don't go and say, hey, we wrong.
Who's your friend? Oh, that's bullshit.
What's interesting about Patty's room as well is like Patty eats her own. She was screaming at some woman about, you didn't even say nothing about the motherfucking ballroom. Hello?
But CNN is kind of pushing. But Brad, hold on. So CNN is also kind of pushing fall in some ways. Correct.
You know for a fact.
Brad,
I'm not red pill. I'm just asking. Why do you know for a fact?
Yeah.
Well, now you're being mean. No, now you're being mean. Now you're being dogmatic. Are you upset?
Baseline.
All I did was question.
Baseline.
All I did was question.
I'll let you go in a second. Let Brad.
Why are you?
Baseline.
Why are you so?
You don't know this guy, right? You always get.
Why are you so mad, dude? Calm down. It's okay, bro.
Alright, baseline.
Okay, but baseline, hold on a second. Baseline, you're just interrupting the conversation. So, like, I will move you to the audience. So just shut your fucking slurp pipe, okay? And stay on mute. Okay.
Well, that was.
Jesus Christ! Like, I didn't want to fight tonight. I just didn't. I wanted to have a chill discussion. I had a long day at work. I've got to figure out a $250,000 fucking cost savings for somebody. So I mean, shit. But in the vein, back to our original discussion, I agree with you. Post the podium speech, which, by the way, hats off to the guy showing up in tuxes. I think that's how our president should fucking look all the time. But and I loved how he was flanked by men. Just they came out like ballers, like let's go. But they basically, I agree with you. The MSNBC and then the morning after what was going on this morning was just bullshit. And then the crying about Jimmy Kimmel getting his ass canned. I agree with you all the way on that one. But at the time, I think there was just a lot of confusion in the ballroom and around the area and in the law.
So Jimmy Kimmel, just clear, he made the comment that about chunking the widow.
Could you imagine? I don't know who's like fucking no late night host would have dare said shit on Obama like that. We would never have come up with that. I would never said, oh, Michelle Obama looks like she's about to be a widow. Like nobody would have thought it. That's I think it's this guy episode now. But he's not even press. He's a shit. I personally say keep him on because what do you want in Michigan? I mean, it literally is.
Well, Brad, the thing that bothers me is this, right? And we as Republicans don't do this, right? And even our media doesn't do this, but our Republicans should do it too, right? You know how every time something happens, they ask a Republican or they ask Trump to disavow, right? No one is doing that. Like, Dana Bash tried on CNN with Raskin. Do you feel responsible for your rhetoric? And then Raskin said, well, I don't know what you're talking about. What rhetoric? Well, I got no problem with Donald Trump and blah, blah. And then she said, well, you called him a Nazi. Well, I mean, this and that, and that's it. Then they just had to move on and say, well, we asked for a special job. They didn't say, well, you have. What's his name?
That was crazy. He doubled down. He doubled down.
He doubled down about what?
Hakeem Jeffries just recently, wait, did he double down this morning, or was it Sunday?
He said
warfare. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
they're out.
And he doubled down, and that's acceptable, right? And so why is everyone not going to Schumer and going to every other Democrat and say, do you support the comments of Jeffries? Do you support? No, they don't. They just go, oh, well, Jeffrey said, okay, support it, but let's move on. Because if we keep asking them that, then one of them is going to get caught in something. And it's just like with Swalwell, right? They cover up all the.
Wait. That's a good point, Navi. Did any Republican come out and say anything as a blanket target towards the Democrat Party about Swalwell?
Never.
No. Is there any? No. Not even Trump. Trump didn't say anything. So, again, they get a pass on this, and then as soon as we do, because, he swallows well, especially what Fang said, I mean, I just don't get it, and I'm sick and tired of it. I don't like turning the other cheek anymore. I'm just tired. Everybody's tired.
Hello?
Trump should take advantage of this and flip the tables on the media, or at least the people that's in front of him at any given moment, and ask them if they support the manifesto. It's really simple. Exactly. At the bottom of that is saying that he's a pedophile, that he's a rapist, and all these other things, and they've been saying that. So they should just get him on record.
Yeah, that's 60 Minutes
So we're saying,
with the bullshit or whatever that interview was.
It's also Jamie Raskin.
Manifesto, and she was reading it out for viewers to do. And Trump, the way he responded was just hard. And I said, what do you mean? Like, you missed a piece of it. No, she was reading his motive. And then I was like, no, that was a piece of it. That was his motive. I said, then I read the rest of the thing, and I said, he talks about the death of children. That's not in there. He goes, well, maybe it is, it doesn't matter. And so basically, She did it purposely to put him in a box. Now the problem is that this is going to be the thing that she was doing it to tell Democrats, hey, run about this, right? Run on this. And so that's why Trump is not pushing the manifesto, because it mentions these comments about, pedophile and all this stuff, right? And on the side note, Brad, which I think you'll find interesting, I don't know if you were here earlier when I broke the news about Ro Khanna. Congressman Ro Khanna is taking money from Indian-backed organizations
I know about that.
for the H-1B, to push the H-1B program, and him and Tom and Massey are planning on going to Trump and saying, we will exonerate you with the Epstein files if you push this. And push the H-1B, increase of H-1B program. And probably Trump will do it. But, meaning saying that your name is not in the files and you're not a pedophile.
I don't know.
I know.
Today will come out.
But he's not in there. That's the whole thing. Like, that's the...
Yeah, that's what
There's no lead. Like, even with, like, what is there left? Like, maybe 13, 15% of the files haven't been released. Okay. So, magically. But there's no commonality threat. Like, it's been ran through every GI or AI fucking algorithm to find anything associated with it. They have teams of people still poring over it, looking at it. There's nothing connecting Trump. They were like, oh, he's on the flight logs. Yeah, but he never went to the island because he was on the flight logs before 1996 when the island was fucking born. So you don't have that you don't have that, like, signed, sealed, delivered. Like, it's only Trump. And they're not going after anybody else. They're not locking up anybody else. They're not targeting anybody else on that list. They're not protesting at anybody else's box. It's only Trump that matters. And at this point, I would tell Trump, like, you guys don't give a fuck about the Epstein list. The only thing you cared about was whether my name was associated with him in any kind of way, but you weren't upset about it. And then you brought Clinton's in for a fucking shill of a fucking deposition, and just to make it optical, and you let Hillary do her grandstand or Benghazi tears again.
So do you think Kash Patel is not the man to bring charges? Because, I mean, does he need to be fired? Because if Trump isn't, these people are called, Raskin is saying that MAGA Republicans need to go to re-education camps. They're saying Republicans need to go to re-education camps. Are you listening to Jamie Raskin and other radical Democrats saying that they're going to arrest Republicans when they get back into power? So how is Donald Trump not going to fire Kash Patel and put a warrior in there? Kick me from the room to the goo. Kick me from the room to the goo. They don't want to hear me say the truth. So they kick me to the goo. They know it's true. Why do they kick me to the goo? Why is Brad Stauffenberger denying a $250,000 claim for a child? What up, Sam? They kicked me to the goo.
Yeah, you were bringing up some pretty interesting points into the Matrix.
I know, they don't want me to participate in their Matrix experience. So here we are, responding. This is why I record everything, because it's like, what's the point of doing all this?
I don't give Trump this credit, but so many times we've fallen for this trap as conservatives, Republicans, Trump.
It's so funny how, like, everybody's Republican now, and people are just like, what do they call it? Fucking fair weather fans.
You know, Naveen?
Yeah.
Naveen, when he hang out with the Diogenes, right? And that fellow group of, he totally, like, sells out Trump. And now, when this happens, it's like he reverses his policy. He goes to supporting him again.
Yeah, Naveen is a super fair weather fan, but he does provide some interesting gossip that I will say that he's somehow privy to, some relationships he has. Welcome, Miriam.
Hi, guys. I support Trump for 100%.
100%, always, forever, right? Well, see, that room is just like super boring now. It's called open discussion, but I mean, there's just like, anyways, it's not that big of a room. Anyways, there's very few people in there. It's just Marshall stinking Rankin in his cheetah jacket.
Dude, oh, that reminds me of like this one time in college, university, biology class. I had to take off like some shoes, and her feet were orange. Orange. Like, what? I just said it was.
But for some reason I support Trump. He should give me some things.
Do you have any wisdom to share, Miriam?
No, he should to come to kiss my ass first. And then I negotiate with him.
You would think you would get that far?
Huh?
You think you would get that far? I don't think President Trump would kiss your ass.
No. He say that. He should do that.
I never heard him say kiss my ass.
No. I hear everything. Okay, that's enough for me. And then
I want liberty. And you know what? That means I get to consume what I want to consume. That means I get to think what I want to think, feel what I want to feel, say what I want to say. I'm not a Muslim, okay? I'm free. I'm in America, and we wage war against the Muslim pirates, the slave masters of Islam.
So, I've always voted Republican. I've never voted Democrat once, and never thought I ever heard a Democrat speaker ever say anything that I consider to be truthful. It always seems to be a lie, no matter what they say. And so I've never ever found myself in a position to want to vote for a Democrat. And I've voted in I think every major election of all time. I mean, I voted in the Green Party once for Roseanne Barr because I figured, Roseanne isn't going to lie. So let's vote for Roseanne.
The press secretary.
No.
Like all this stochastic terrorism that's being sprung up by the Democrats.
No, do explain.
This was a part of the manifesto from that guy. When you read the manifesto of the shooter, this is Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt asked herself, how different is the rhetoric from this almost assassin than what you'd read on social media and hear in various forums every single day? And
Now that I ate your black homes that was in Boyle Heights.
We smoke hookah and we smoke cannabis. It's chill.
Yeah, but you guys were very they're very perplexed by me, Neo, because the thing is I'm stuck in their fucking time loop algorithm because they can't fucking figure me out. They can't diagnose me, and so they've got all their behavioralists in there and all their stuff in there. It's like, wait a minute, people.
You're too advanced.
Exactly, and so I'm stuck with them fucking with them. I'm and then I got so stuck with them that I'm like, oh my god, did I just uncover what is going on around here? Okay, so now I've been stuck here. Thank you, Neo, for confirming.
Sometimes really good reason for that, but I agree with you. Sometimes it's bullshit.
You have to take the cumulative total of a lot of little things. Oh boy.
And it also shows how little we actually know about medicine, the human body, and health.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Joe, I would say the exact opposite. I'd say we actually know a tremendous amount about health and how to keep it, how to preserve it, how not to destroy it. For example, the COVID-19 jab, that shows obviously we're completely ignorant as a population about how to actually maintain your health and not get lied to and hypnotized and propagandized with lotteries and Good Morning America, this is sponsored by Pfizer, etc. What do you think about that, Joe? Hello?
So, Alistair, I was disappointed to not see you on the list of politicians that have been banned or political holes that have been banned from different establishments, such as like the Hard Rock or different restaurants. I thought I'd find you on there, and apparently not. It was hard. Hello?
Hello?
I've never had anybody come up to me and say, hey, are you John Kitover, that guy that ran for Congress? No, not yet. But I have had somebody come up to me and say, hey, are you that guy from Snapchat?
Well, no. You're the guy who ran for Congress, but is now running for mayor of Chicago.
You're the guy who elevates his voice or raises. He goes into a tenor at the end of every comment he makes.
I think.
Well, he's actually a Destrato.
Pragmatic, like looking someone in the eye and just saying something painfully obviously true is a good strategy for a campaign. Like the mayor in the city that I live in, he ran for re-election, and his campaign slogan, I kid you not, was "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." And he won re-election, and you should just make your slogan, "It can't be any worse than the last two administrations." Something like that, but
I was thinking, don't be a dick.
Yeah, I'd like to say vote John is better than nothing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you a text. I forgot who was in the room.
It's about Austin.
Oh, well, it better be.
But you know, my marketing materials are much better this campaign. I am gonna shut down johnforcongress.com, I think, because like there's no point in paying for a campaign that's over. And I would like to keep it maybe for like SEO value, but I'm like, you know what, fuck it, like move on, let it go.
Why don't you do a redirect and just have it go to the website?
Yeah, just take the site down, but keep the domain in case you ever need it in the future.
No, I can. I can always register a new one. That's the thing about domains is like they have completely lost all value because you can just add an X on the end of anything, and it's like so. It's all about your keyword optimization, for the most part. But I'm in ketosis because I had some cheese pizza tonight, and I'm about to have a little more.
Heart attack. I take that back. That wasn't kind. Apparently not. It was.
Oh, I've had people here say, "I hope your phones start on fire. You burn to death. I hope your house starts on fire." I've had many death threats, many death threats regularly.
I hope you find some way to add value to your community and society at large.
Well, see, I've always hypothesized, like, what is the first way that you can actually change your community? And it turns out that improving yourself is actually the best way to change your community. It's the first and only place to start and finish. And really, that's called using your brain to improve your brain, which I doubt that you've done in quite a long time.
Trash for them because they're old and be civic minded, but you do you.
Well, if you see my PTR, I'm holding up what's called a book. I doubt you've read one in many years. I know people that haven't read books in 20 years.
I actually can't read. That's why I'm on a voice app. Otherwise, I'd be in a.
See, actually, you can read because there's this thing called audio book, which is the same thing as a book, except in an audio version of a book. Hello? But people on Clubhouse.
Do you have any recordings of yourself having phone sex? How does it end? Does it end with a hello?
Could you imagine? I'm going to do that next time. Next time I get laid, right after I pop that load, I'm going to say, hello?
Do you consider phone sex? Are you getting laid?
No, I'm talking about in the real world, in the fleshy domain this Friday, Saturday night. Hello? Thanks for the recommendation. Why did you say hello to me after you had your orgasm? Oh, this guy, Austin Powers, I know. He goes by a rubber ducky pirate. He told me that if you say hello after you ejaculate and then you articulate, you can go into ketosis, and it acts as an anticoagulant for fat, and you can lose weight. Hello? Has your Clubhouse been like glitching for you? It keeps glitching.
Glitchy?
Well, I keep getting kicked from rooms, and I'm just wondering, is it because my mic is not working?
John, can you spell cup?
Hello?
God damn it.
I see you, Pete. You do not.
No, but.
No buts. Okay.
Fair enough. But John, can you spell cup?
Oh boy. My goodness. Well,
looking up how to spell it right now.
We officially killed the room.
No, I mean, I thought you were being facetious. Hello?
Hello?
Is this app
Did all that
glitching?
make sense to her?
Maybe not one part of it.
Alright.
Do you have Matt Gates' number on speed dial, John?
How'd you know?
Well, I was wondering, when is he going to replace Kash Patel with Matt Gaetz? Because I don't know if you saw Kash Patel's post, press dinner party where Kash Patel was like, "We took control of the crime scene. We called in the crime investigators and immediately started examining for evidence." I was like, "What in the fuck? Like this is so stupid." You know, like he sounds so amateur. Like it's his first time like running a crime scene.
Get a job at customer service.
Oh, I already run a nonprofit complaint department. You're participating in it right now. Hello?
And not profit. Yeah.
I'm so fucking bored I could weep.
You're always bored.
The city's gone vulgar, darling. I saw a gutter rat in the lobby. The lobby. They're letting them indoors now.
Oh my goodness.
I'll tell you what, John, how big of a donation would it take? I've got $37. So how big of a donation would it take for me to give you?
Just to leave.
Well, I think you would be.
Yeah, you can buy me off. I'll leave. I will leave if you just pay me to leave. That's always an option. Let me get you a link. Please hold.
Right, yeah, I've got $37 to my name. I'm sort of a high roller. I've got a lot of, I've got a little bit of cheddar. Austin has a lot of money. You could bilk him for more than that. So what are we talking about? Like 3-4 cents? Like how much?
Oh, if you want me to leave, you gotta give me $10 at a minimum.
You want almost a quarter of my wealth?
Yeah. Just think of it. Think of how much I can give back to you for a lifetime. Oh, I give you 100x as a politician, no doubt. I mean, I'm gonna cut your property taxes day number 1. Have you seen my 3-day plan? 25% day 1. Boom. Probably just saved you another $3,000 a year. Hello? Hello?
I don't know. It's very difficult to give a very specific answer. Rather, I say that when our founding fathers, and they weren't my father, but the founding fathers, nonetheless, they were thinking. They were smart. They didn't look like me, but them motherfuckers smart. They knew that people in time would try to change shit. They knew that because they knew how power is. Power corrupts. It don't have to be if you're black or if you're white, if you are.
That's why they gave us the law, Kenneth, the law.
But power corrupts. So, to the extent that our founding fathers were smart, I give them credit for that. And they knew that shit. And as a lawyer, I become aware over time of that fact. So, my sharing in my answer to that, and just to be profound specific, what was your question again? Because I want to land with that, because I know somebody else will say something. And I want to be specific to your answers.
Kenneth, what did the founding fathers know about Islam that the woke left Democrats have forgotten today about Islam, Kenneth? The Muslims. Hello?
Well, they didn't forget nothing. Did you see how they situated
not dumb.
They knew how to construct a fortress, is what you're saying.
And I like black people, but some did like black people.
When it comes to even Islam, I forget, like, some of the founding fathers, they called them Mohammedans back then, and they would say, like, they were open to them, as of course they're trying to have a country that was not as that was far more secular. But yes, I understand. Our first foreign battle was with Barbaria, where they basically they were jihadists that demanded.
Yeah, we declared we don't pay terrorists. We don't pay ransom.
Right,
Hello?
And then my last question to Kenneth was, did he feel like the progressives and far leftists were hijacking the Liberal Party?
We've been hijacked because of the money.
Yeah, but look, hold on. I don't want you to talk to me for 5 minutes. Like, I don't want to hog the stage. Money is a powerful motivator. It really is. But it's not the only motivator. People do a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. One of them is ideology. And if you consider that wokeism is a type of religion, it can be substantiated as such, people will sacrifice much for their religion. And what I'm seeing in our society as the leftists that are condoning political violence are quite willing to sacrifice conservatives on their altar.
Well, what happens is that, and the unfortunate thing is that we see a lot of violence within scriptures, within the Bible. So it allows certain entities to feel that violence is okay. And it's within our right to do the things that we are doing because we have the power. And if we want to point to scriptures, then we can point to scriptures and say that we have the power. And that's why it exists.
It's still more than money, and I think you reducing it to money is not being genuine, but I'll yield the mic to Pepe and other people who are less boring than I am that don't kill karma.
Let me
especially when
let me jump back in here.
Real quick, Monica, you're not boring. Go ahead.
Oh, well, how you know?
How drunk are you, Wallace?
Right, how many?
No, I had two 12 ounces. I'm cool.
All right. Kenneth, I gotta ask you, what do you think of Trump? Just gotta get that out of the way right now. Are you there, Kenneth? Maybe take your water break.
He's doing lawyers.
You know what?
Out of respect for the room, for Monica, I'm gonna like show self-disciplined and I'm gonna be a good boy.
Well, first of all, I love Trump. I do. For various reasons.
Come on.
He just dropped a big deuce.
Different reasons that
He just dropped a huge deuce. Oh my god.
that all people
at least not gonna watch you
Dude, what is up with this naggy female energy? Did you wash your hands? Get the motherfucker feet.
I think it was like none of you guys have gone out into the woods and told me you didn't wash your hands. You guys piss behind a tree, or if you're in the city at the club, you're pissing on the side wall of the club. You know you ain't washing your hands in there. Spare me with this fucking cleanliness, guys. You guys will fucking scratch your asses. Put your fingers to your nose and see if it's fucking stink. Shut up about that.
So guess what?
Guys, scratch your balls and then put your hand to your nose to see if it's fucking funky down there.
So check this out, family.
I live in Detroit, Michigan. I went to undergrad at the University of Minnesota in the 80s. So there were people that didn't look like me. That I was the first.
Dude, you were in the whitest state at the whitest time in the whitest part of the fucking world.
What did he go for?
Yeah.
1988 from 1988.
That's like the whitest.
Minnesota. Yeah. I was like, dog. I know people from like.
Dude, they only had 50 shades of white. That's only 50 shades of white.
But at the end of the day, that was my brothers, though. And that's why I'm saying that. That's why I'm talking to you in that frame. I'm never going to argue with you. It's just that we come from sides of a coin. That's all. That's it. And that's all I'm trying to ever impress to my brother.
Damn, are you the tarnished side of the coin? Nobody polished you. You need to trade in your pink ticket and get polished, bro.
What's the pink ticket? I don't even know what
Yeah,
the
you
pink
need to type
ticket
that in, by the way, Kenneth.
What does that mean?
Get the plastic.
Just click on
that
the
pink ticket. Just don't
click on
I
the
don't
title
even
of the
know what a
house.
pink ticket
We'll
means.
polish you, bro. It's all good.
Click on the title of the house up here. The President Trump is it joined. Yeah.
Okay.
To be fair though, like he's a golfer and he went to university in fucking Minnesota, which is like I'm gonna tell you guys in the 80s, like beyond white.
93, brother.
Yeah, that is like white, like fucking snow white fucking land. Like you don't get like dueling the ambulance in the South can't come.
So you'll get respect real quick here, brother.
But I'm a white supremacist, and that even fucking disgusts me, and I don't know why.
This guy don't discuss yet.
First of all, if I can't love you, then there's no such thing as unconditional love. So I can't find, even if you dislike me, you can hate me. I know that there were brothers that didn't even know what I looked like other than what was on television until they met me in person. When they met me in person, it was a whole different thing, bro. So it's not my goal to change anybody. It's my goal to be who I am, and then you make your determination from there moving forward.
You built the house there.
Oh my God.
The community. We welcome you.
Oh my God, are you actually living the teachings of Jesus?
Dude, he's part of the
Flabbergasted.
bro. This is perfect. Let's
Well,
go.
that is the thing, though. This is where I would get into it with like.
I didn't say I was Yeshua.
I would get into it with like people like the Grapers.
My family.
I would get into it with people like the Grapers. You know, I was kind of, you know, not too far from them.
Come on.
But here's the thing.
But I would say this though is that these people, a lot of them are, well, almost all of his adherents would be Catholic, and it's just like, dude, you know, like Catholicism is so we totally cannot like mistreat people because of their race and that kind of shit. And,
Unless it's
like,
a competition.
and like when it comes to Catholicism, like being a good Catholic is being in a way almost like giving up everything to help the sick and the poor, and it's really different from, I would say, not only other branches of Christianity but even other religions. It's just and that can be a good or a bad thing. I don't want to say it, but yeah, like us being racist and all of that stuff, it's really weird, and I don't understand how people can have like the level of hypocrisy they have with trying to be pious while being racist, while using a religion that would disavow the racism. It just doesn't make sense.
That's privilege, Pepe. You know privilege. For 5 years on Clubhouse, we all know what privilege comes in. Multi-colors and multi.
Yes, sir.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about privilege.
Different age, it don't matter.
Dude, my favorite privilege is the
bring us up to.
Well, you asked me what I think about Trump, and let me go down that rabbit hole. What I think, because I'm an investor, okay? I remember back in the day, I do a lot of research, and Trump said before he was ever president, this is his words. You can Google it. So you can listen to what he said. They asked Trump when he was not a president, would he ever want to run for president? His answer was no. But if I did, I would run as a Republican. That was his words.
You saw him in the 80s, though. There's tons of recordings of him in the 80s where he has made tons of quotes. Anyways, there's lots of them. You should look them up.
All I'm saying is, he was aware.
I got one in my bio, and it's so relevant. You should check out my bio.
But he knew that he could manipulate. And he knew that he had money. And people knew that. And that's why he was popular.
Yeah,
I didn't have to say too many words other than that.
What they're gonna do if we just got there. They had to tell him in the 70s. They had to tell him in the 70s.
Well, he utilized the awareness of, which is television. He had all kinds of TV programs leading up to
long, white, bearded guy singing music, like getting us under, like hypnotized, like that Alistair guy up there. What's his name? Alistair? Yeah, never heard that before.
All I'm simply saying is he was just a different side of the coin. The people that's running.
I hope you traded in your pink ticket, brother, because I want to follow you. But
I did join. I joined already, brother. I think I got to leave or something.
Look at Matt and Viking.
So,
we got
but what happened is that
some good crackers, premium crackers up in here.
He played both sides of the coin. He played both sides of the coin. So, with respect to the conservatives, they're seeing an aspect of one side of the coin. But if you can imagine, there are potential people that are racist and people that are negatively vibrating that follow Trump. But Trump, if you can imagine, it was in black people's race with the rap music. So that means black people love Trump.
Oh, brother.
There are some very Negroistic characteristics of Trump, but I need to ask you one question. I'm dead fucking serious. Wipe that goddamn black grin off your fucking face, because I have a serious question.
Okay.
I will kick you out of the fucking room. Now,
you made him smile.
Now, when we break bread together, okay, and somebody brings a potato salad with raisins in it, what do you think of that?
I'm listening, brother.
Is that good or is that bad?
Well, you asked a great question, fam. So, when I went to the University of Minnesota, I had a good friend of mine. His name was Paul Koenig. Okay. His family owned a farm in Hutchinson, Minnesota.
Yeah,
and I used to go back home to Detroit.
I'm sorry.
So I was just talking to the person that was in Minnesota so he can verify I'm telling him the truth.
I hear you. What are you asking? I'm washing dishes and getting ready for the morning. What is it?
Hutchinson, Minnesota. So my friend was named Paul Koenig. And he was a good friend of mine. And during Thanksgiving, I went to his home, which was a farm. And mind you, from a city person, I ain't never seen a farm before. so and when we ate, and they didn't know, and I didn't get mad because they was loving me, they served me watermelon at Thanksgiving. Now, mind you, I'm 20 years old. I have never been watermelon at Thanksgiving in my life. I can only laugh. I didn't find it offensive. But all they knew was that black people liked watermelon.
But who doesn't like watermelon? That should be the question. Who doesn't like watermelon?
That is some northern Minnesota white people shit like that. I believe you.
But the white Minnesotans are like so much nicer. Like the state, because that's like where the
passive aggressive. It's passive aggressive. It's not like the way you think it is up there.
The microwave is on time.
Wallace, go back to drinking the IPA.
Yeah. Wallace, you're little blackout drunk. Just saying. But
not really, not yet.
No, I would say though, like even with I've been to Minnesota,
probably Minneapolis.
Wisconsin, not Minneapolis, but
Rochester area, the southern part.
Yeah. But I will say that just in general, like there is kind of a difference between, just like how there's regional differences in the United States. I would say that when it comes, and granted, I've never lived there. There does seem to be some differences amongst different groups of people, including the people like the northern part of the Midwest, and I don't. Yeah,
It's different. It's different.
Oh yeah. Hold on. So like, okay, I will say this. You're right. There is like they have a passive aggressive in the city. When I first, it was beautiful. Like I mean, parks, everything there. People actually smile. No, there are some racist piece of shit cops out in the fucking city. You could deny that shit.
Fuck yeah.
Can I clap on you a little thing? Just let me finish, buddy. You can go. Yeah, like that shit was really, because you saw it from the sidewalk when you went into Minneapolis. You went to Minnehaha, you were on Beta Muscat, you were walking through Uptown. You could kind of tell, like, you could see what was going on there, and a lot of people of a multitude of colors were all like kind of uncomfortable because the cops, they were a different set. Like Chauvin was like probably a mild comparison to some of the cops up there. So I get it. But like when you got out of Minneapolis area, you got out of Hennepin County, and you in Wright County.
I live in Friendly, brother.
There you go. Once you got out of those two counties, you were fucking. All of a sudden, it opened up. It was a whole world. You hit Duluth, people were happy, people were working, people had near smiles on everybody's faces. You were sitting down. You were partying on Lake Superior. Like you turn around and be all black people, everybody be eating, everybody having a good time drinking, kids playing in the water, in the surf, cold as fuck, but it would be fun. And then you come down to Minneapolis, and it was really a weird vibe in Minneapolis. I guess that's what they try to say, because just.
Brad, what the fuck are you talking about? There's two happy people in Duluth.
Go ahead. Whoever was speaking, go ahead.
No, that's the.
He knows though. He's been there.
I've been to Duluth. It sucks. Duluth sucks.
If I knew it was going to be that cold, I would have not chosen to go to Minnesota.
It's not that cold.
It's fishing. It's just fishing. You go fishing in different places.
And it's not that cold.
I mean, go to the Pacific or the Atlantic. It's fishing. We're going.
So I came around like a midnight, like right there at midnight. I wake up the next day and I'm like, I went to the. God damn it! Well, but like go there the next day. I'm like, I'm in Anchorage and I'm just like, holy shit! Like, oh wow, there's black people are amazing. So like I didn't picture that about Alaska. And then there's like, I'm talking to the security guard because I'm just waiting for my fucking girlfriend just to hurry the fuck up. And he's like, oh, they shop till they drop, don't they? And I was talking to him. I just remember thinking in the back of my head, and I was like, of course I didn't say this out loud, but it's just like, holy shit, like you motherfuckers would not even exist here probably 500 years ago because you like die of vitamin D deficiency. Whereas it takes a very special, like you have to be basically an Eskimo to live here. and like you have, believe it or not, like quite a lot of black people in Anchorage, and I would say one of the cool things about that place is that it is super libertarian. Like nobody cares.
You really should interrupt Pepe. Let Pepe finish.
No. The only thing I was gonna say is that was one of my. Even though I did not like the climate, it was perhaps, somebody who grew up in Arizona, you can probably understand why I didn't like the climate, but I would say the people there were probably the coolest I've ever met. Just super libertarian in a way where it's like you have boundaries you don't cross, but you kind of just let people be. It's a really cool place.
Up and down Pepe in the state.
Kenneth, I bet you miss those hot dishes, though. I bet you miss it. I bet you miss that. and those Juicy Lucy's, I bet you miss those. Those are good, man. The best.
What is a Juicy Lucy?
Whoever's there, Juicy Lucy.
Pepe's a good. I just don't know.
You know who's a Minnesota? No, you just lost that. So if you're in Minnesota, just order yourself a Juicy Lucy, and you'll figure out what it is, and you'll enjoy it. You'll think,
I'm gonna have to look it up now. This is bullshit.
What's a Juicy Lucy, bro?
You didn't have one?
No.
Oh man. All right, I'll tell you.
Right? He's still.
No, it's like a burger.
I just looked it up.
Yeah, I told you. And it's stuffed. It's on the inside.
What restaurant?
All over. They're served all over.
What?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to call my boys and be out.
No, it's a type of dish.
Capitalism is class, family. This is why everything is great in America.
You're a Hussein, and so I love that so much. Like, like Islam is a religion of justice, and that's why I found it.
Oh, I definitely. I don't know the Hussein. I don't think that was actually a good example that he used. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. What you're really saying is Christ. That's what you're talking about. You want someone to just cough it up, and because they know, they're like not concerned. You're talking about Christ, but not. There ain't that many people that have that kind of union with the logos.
But
I think the closer I get to understanding, and the more I don't even. God is huge, way bigger than you. And it's just really hard to think that he would be. It's how much of it's a very huge universe expanding at rates that are like faster than light.
it's like an embedded frequency.
Market.
I don't want to call you, but
And because he is influenced by APAC
just get off the
and the
bus?
Epstein issues, he's motivated to do certain things and to say certain things. But at the end of the day, he loves money. That's why. What other president added an extra section to the White House?
But it's part of it. You gotta love it because it's part of it. It's kind of sad, but yeah, you gotta love it. For power and money, would you personally, would you trade it all just to have it all? Give it all to have it all. Would you do that?
Not me, because I know money you can't take with you
the most transformative of all time. And if he gets $21 trillion in investment opportunities, which is over half our debt, he's going to be able to basically keep this country afloat for another, 150 years?
Because
He's going to be set.
Because we read the book, baby. That's how we did it.
Speaking facts. He's speaking total facts.
If Trump doesn't do what he does, literally, you and I don't live the lives that we're living for the next decade. Our kids are not living like we live. I'm serious.
Trump is totally setting us up for the future.
What's up, Crow?
Trump is totally setting us up for the future. Pay attention, and that's what he's doing.
Really quick,
He's setting everybody up for the future. And that's what's going on.
Well, I wanted to clear the space so you could actually start from the beginning. So say it again, clearly and loudly.
No, Trump is setting us up for the future.
Correct.
Like, pay attention. Pay attention to what he's doing.
Exactly.
He's setting us up for the future, for the next president. He's setting up the next president in case he don't get it. But you know what? I think that it's going to go a little swing thing where somebody blocks out.
We're going to let Crow finish, Kenneth, so let Crow finish. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. Y'all talk.
My apologies, Crow.
No, you good.
I live on Crow, so I want to hear it land, Crow.
No, I think Trump is probably going to be our next president at the next election. By they're gonna do it. They're gonna make it happen.
Right, so does that
But
mean we
you know what?
other amendments though?
He is our best president we've ever had.
Suck a fucking dick, you faggot.
That's all right.
He's gonna be.
What's up, superstar?
We're gonna have a third term president. In other words, you want us.
Fucking talk.
No, you shut up. You fucking.
Let me
You
talk.
fucking homosexual. Shut your fucking mouth.
Hello?
No, I moved you to the audience because you stupid piece of shit. So you're trying to tell us that we're gonna have a president who's gonna be so great, which by the way, he's gonna be like what, not in his 90s? I don't know. I forget how old he is now. And he's gonna be the greatest president ever. This is fucking retarded. Okay, and he would how much he would change things constitutionally in order to remain president? Like that's just chaos. And I get it, you can be a super fan of Trump, that's fine. I voted for him 3 times. I talk a lot of shit about him though, too. I voted for him because he's the best option. But hold on, this worship that I see with a lot of you fucking retarded maggots, it is so, you guys are so dumb. Just the dumbest fucking people to ever live. You have no...
It's just Pepe projection. It's ad hominem projection. Green bean big Pepe. Napoleonic Pepe.
So guess what, faggot? You get to go to the audience. Amazing. I'll let the maggot...
Ooh, we got Pepe a little angry here.
Pagan, idol worshiper.
Oh, he's a Pepe. No, he's a
I
Pepe.
disagree with you, but I love you nonetheless. At the same time,
Boy Crow, so if Trump has a third
it's
term,
like if you this thing
He does have a third term.
so should they?
I mean, that he can get a 4th term because you know what?
What if that's
All he can do is get a vice president, and the vice president steps down and let him back up.
Double Crow,
Right?
Okay, so
I mean, we can make it happen.
That's what has to occur, right? So, do you think if that's the case, and let's say that he can somehow be elected in a 3rd term, do you think that they should be allowed to work around other amendments? Let's say the 2nd Amendment.
Repeat the question, brother.
Well, yeah.
So what if a third term and then 6 years later, when there's a Democrat in office, they totally take away guns, for example, and they can't fight the
It's one of those Looney Tunes crap.
Yeah, well, the problem is the Democrat office needs to just step aside because the Republicans are holding it down. If you go back in the day,
Answer the fucking question. You didn't answer the fucking question. You got me in troglodyte. You smooth brain fucking troglodyte. You shut your fucking mouth, you piece of shit. No, you low IQ piece of shit. You need to. No, this is the question.
Solid. He's like fucking not charging me with this fucking new charge, and I'm over here. I'm like, he took my $30,000 check. Like, false alarm, I found it, guys. Don't worry. It's right over here next to this Beth Taco.
Del Taco. That's a good idea.
Del Taco is fucking good. Love it.
Almost 9. I could make it to the Chinese place. I could make it to the Chinese. Yeah, I can. My keys. I could make it.
So, Lumi, I'm wondering, Lumi, have you ever studied the 2 Barbary Wars that the U.S. inflicted on Tripoli in the 1800s?
What?
Hello?
What? Hello?
I'm asking you, do you know about U.S. history in regards to Islamic piracy? Hello?
Yeah. From what? To Tripoli.
Yeah. There were 2 Barbary Wars, and the U.S. government refused to pay tribute, but they did pay ransom.
They ended up paying tribute.
Well, they wanted to legally call it ransom and not tribute because they found it to be ridiculous that they would have to abide by the Mohammedan constitution. Well, the point is, they fucking went over there and kicked some ass, and they actually took a whole city. And the guy that took the city was upset that the U.S. brokered a peace deal when he wanted them to release all the hostages with no money. And we paid $60,000 in 1800. $60,000? It's like 5,000 a human head. That's a lot of money back then. I mean, multiply that by 100.
Believers because they decided not to.
It's irritating.
Not to pay because you decided you wanted to get out of it.
Zuni, you sound annoying. Please mute.
Please stop talking in code. Please stop.
Talking in code?
Code.
Please stop talking in front of me about me.
Stop breathing. You gotta take a stop breathing.
Zuni, are you Jewish?
She looks it, doesn't she?
Yeah, you look Ashkenazi.
I am Jewish.
Oh, Ribono Shalom. Congratulations. I didn't know you were Yiddishkeit.
Yeah, I am.
Ribono Shalom. This time next year, we'll have dinner with Benjamin Netanyahu after they clear him of all the fake genocide charges. Just a bunch of lies.
Is that why you came in here? They were complaining about me kicking her ass?
But can you guys stop talking about me in front of me and this like I'm so sick of it. You guys have been going on so long. Please stop and no gaslighting, no nothing.
Illumi, I heard a rumor today that they're saying there's more Hamas fighters now in Gaza Strip than before they started the war.
Makes sense. You would appoint me as your king.
Well, you're just a cartoon, though. That's what you don't
No, it makes
understand.
sense, and I would make your lives into a paradise. But with a clubhouse cheap, instead of unifying around a person, any animal, every animal in the freaking animal kingdom finds an alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Find a leader of the pack.
Well,
They organize it into hierarchies.
yeah. No, they don't. Not necessarily. Have you ever seen birds? Have you seen how birds operate? They're like the alpha predators of society. Birds don't give a fuck. They will kill and eat and fly and fuck. They don't give a fuck. They're free.
Birds are more like drones than they are freaking
Why do you guys talk about
living things. Like,
Oh my god, Zuni. Zip it, Zuni. Zuni, zip
I
it.
still don't know how birds work, by the way.
what do you know that I don't know?
It's nothing. We're in a book club. You see my PTR? I read that book today. You ever read a book like that? Hello?
Yeah.
Bet you didn't. Bet you ain't read a book in years. Years. Hello?
She read in the
Why do you
Quran.
guys
What are you talking about? She read the
why do you
Quran.
guys talk about me in front of me? What do you
We know some secrets. We know some secrets that you don't know.
Zuni, they were like,
Why does the whole world know something that I don't know?
Because you're not reading enough good books, Zuni. We've got really good axioms and aphorisms that have increased our intelligence. We're like the next stage of human psychological evolution. Hello?
Yeah, but like everywhere I go, it doesn't matter. Like, and I'm not just talking about online. No matter where I go in the world,
Well, what about it?
it's like the whole thing is like orchestrated. No matter where I go, and like I try to test
got
it
these
too.
new combat
I
boots.
try to test it too.
So
I try to
comfortable.
test it too because I thought it's like I try to build a profile. Like say if you were looking for a criminal, right? You would have a profile, right? This person's like this, person's like that. I cannot get a profile because it doesn't matter if it's online, real world, over here, down the street, another state away. It's like, how the fuck is this all orchestrating?
Yeah. Well, see, the thing about life is there's so many, there is an infinite number of variables because it just extends out into the universe. And the thing that I heard about life is that it is based on the principles of random chance. Randomness is the law.
I'm being real, so if you're just gonna tell me like don't even answer. This is a real case.
This is a real answer. This is what I read in a book on theses.
How the fuck is all this being orchestrated?
Because it's all based on randomness, and so that's the secret. Meaning that once you realize that the whole thing is random, that's secretly joy. Because it's random. If it wasn't random, it wouldn't be joyful.
How are my thoughts not secret?
Your thoughts are not secret. Your thoughts are universal. Hello?
Right. How's that working?
I don't know. Go outside. Look at the moon. Get a magnifying glass or a telescope, and microscope. Not a microscope. Yeah, a telescope, and just look at the face of the moon. And just know that the deepest crater on the face that you can see goes into the moon 8 miles. Now just imagine standing at the edge of the precipice of a cliff that goes down 8 miles and you're on the moon. You know, hello?
Hello. My dog said hello too.
Fix any laptops today? Illumi?
I'm working on a printer.
You're fixing a printer? Wow. What a waste of time.
The one for my shed.
$600 printer. If that helps.
Well, what were you? Is a customer's printer or something you were using it to print shit?
It's one of those that, wholesale. It's just broken slightly, and so you can't really sell it with all the rest, so what do you do with it? Well, you just go buy one from Amazon and switch around the little parts and then send it back.
They have these new ink.
What I do with the one in my shed, Mikhail? What does that mean? What do I do with the one that was left there?
Oh, just
Why do you lose
throw it in the garbage. Throw it in the garbage.
I don't know why you left that printer there. So
Why would you throw something of value in the garbage?
Because these printers, honest to God, like
if they're in a box, put them online. If you don't need a printer,
you can sell it.
if
Yeah.
they're broken, find a replacement.
So Zuni, has Illumi?
All these corporations are not paying taxes that are just hanging out insurance products for free for you to go. Return policy.
So Illumi, what do you think about Freemasonry, global Freemasonry?
How much are they paying?
I mean, they've got billions of dollars, I assume, in their.
Where do we sign up right now?
You can go sign up. You can go find some Freemason lodge in your area and go
They're
join
gonna
them.
pay me if I sign up.
No, you're gonna pay them. Duh.
So what do I have? No, that sounds like a Ponzi scheme right there.
Exactly. But what I'm trying to say is, if you look at them.
It's too highlighted. It's too talked about. Things that are actually evil and done in secret are not this fucking popular. So what?
Well, you still have to look at it. there's
what's really going on
history.
is not Freemasonry.
Oh, really? You're so sure about that? Because I have history books on Freemasonry, and it's global, and it's the Europeans, and a lot of it is political. So there is a political, historical, you
It's a
know.
placebo effect. These people think, oh yeah, look at us, we're over here, we're doing something. It's a sleight
It's
of hand,
not placebo. These are networks. These are communication networks, and to say that they didn't do anything is stupid. And if you think that the books that I have are just stupid, well, I would just ask, what was the last book you read? Hello?
The last book I read is
Hello?
Quran. It's the Quran. See, every Muslim can just say the Quran on that question.
No. It's actually to be with the believer.
Not the best book in the world, so you can't
It's
say
not. It's not the best book in the world.
it is.
No, it's not. Definitely not.
Just can't read it, bro. How can you judge a book that you can't read, man?
Bro, I got it. It's not the best book. I'm looking at 1,000 books. I can rank it.
You haven't read the Quran. You read the translation of the
Yeah.
Quran, my friend.
I got it, my friend. Okay, Zuni. Sorry, Zuni was trying. You're interrupting Zuni. Be a gentleman. Let this woman speak.
Until you read it in Greek,
I know you want to troll. I know you want to troll here, Alistair, but I'm gonna do the best.
Troll? How dare you project troll onto me? You're a troll.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. But anyways, the last book I read was Muhammad and the Believers, Fred Donner. I ordered this book. I have it in my hand right now.
Awesome. What did you learn? What have you learned? Give us an extract.
So when I this guy's take on Islam is much more, which is kind of odd. He's not a Muslim or anything. He's like a white guy, but he has a whole other take on like who were the believers in Islam. Right? Like, it wasn't this very rigid type of Islam that you see nowadays. You know? It was more like a believer could have been like a Christian or a Jew or it wasn't this like someone who necessarily does the 5 daily prayers of Shahada, etc. And so I read that book and I went back and I like read the Quran now and like the Quran actually does really read like that, but it would maybe sometimes you don't notice it that way because you're looking at it through a different lens. After some of the things that he said, there'll be things I read.
Did the book mention anything about trans or LGBTQ? Because I'm sure Necro would like to know what the Muslims think about the believers who are trans or LGBTQ.
So the thing that I noticed about so like those kinds of things, people like to focus on those because the majority of people it's not like I wake up every day and I'm like, oh God, I hope I don't want to love a girl. No, I don't love a girl because so it's easy to highlight one sin that most of us aren't doing and then go against it. Well, everyone's the guy who's really against fucking the transgender, it's like that's fair. And he's ripping everybody off of his business and so he's doing all kinds of shit, but it's just like it's one sin for everybody to gang up on and come together on and then highlight and focus like this is the problem. Well, they're all a problem. You're just the guy that focus on this one because it doesn't involve you and it's something that you can unite on. And that's that. But. It's innocent.
Because after reading the Constitution of Muhammad, I just have found that the Islamic Constitution is basically a charter on how to start a mafia organization to basically blackmail people, abuse people, intimidate people, rip people off, and give them no real jurisprudence, no jury trials, and always leave it up to the Ummah, to the Allah, and to the laws of Muhammad. And to me, those believers versus non-believers, in-group versus out-group, to me that's ignorance because the in-group fails to recognize that they can't be the in-group without the out-group. And so therefore it is a network, a hidden network, through communication, and in 2026, if you are still living in the year 600, shame on you. Read more books and stop with the bullshit. Because Muhammad was a mafia don, a godfather gangster, and he hypnotized millions and hundreds of millions, billions of people throughout the years.
That's not true.
Oh, it's true, baby, because you don't even know the Constitution of Islam, and that's just like your opinion. I am citing facts. I can provide links, and we can debate actual source material from Medina, and you can try to wise up, and you can fight the Ummah, you can fight the Muslim terrorists, and you can fight for justice and liberty and peace and wisdom. I am complete. Hello?
Yeah. So and this is how so because Islam is such a widespread thing, so that I know for a fact that it started out as something good. I know for a fact I don't have to read much to know the goodness of the prophet. I know the prophet is good. Things have attached itself to it and how big it's gotten, and so of course, like I don't when I look at if I want to go read fatwas and this and that, I have no idea where this came from. Did it come from the prophet? Who knows? I don't know, but I know that the prophet's good. He's good, and that's why that's why the message starts getting spread. But and then it's good because then it gets real popular and it gets inundated with evil.
I made so many snarky remarks there.
So and the level of slander and the level of hate and the level of he's crazy, he's good, he's bad. So you're like, oh yeah, and there must be some prophet because the
Muhammad is the messenger of lies, hypnosis, and destruction, and blackmail, and blood libel, and blood. The guy is just a gangster. He's intimidating everybody. Come to war with us and pay for it, or we'll kill you too. That was his message in the Constitution of Medina. You should read it. You need to go to law school so you can learn how to read, apparently.
Just like
the hearts of Enfield.
it's like he wants to. It's like I don't know, whatever floats your boat.
So, and then you also believe that if you sincerely repent, that God will forgive you, correct?
Yes.
Then what would be the point of the crucifixion if you already know that if you sin regardless, you sincerely repent, and God's going to forgive you, what would be the point of the crucifixion?
That God placed This comes into the theory of the atonement, and I think that I have heard it, substitutionary atonement, that Christ became a curse for us. He stood in our stead, taking on the wrath of God to appease the justice and holiness and wrath of God. So Jesus took
Sorry,
that.
before you keep moving forward, I'm just trying to gather this all together.
Break this down. Yeah, that's fine.
We've established, right, that God is merciful and forgiving.
Yes.
You do understand the difference between being merciful and being forgiven?
I think the mercy is giving you something that you do not deserve. So all of us deserve death, which we do get physical death, but we deserve what's called the second death. And Christ has redeemed us from that by dying on the cross for our sin. So yes, he gives us mercy, and
forgiveness is built. That's the mercy. God simply being merciful because that's one of his attributes.
He is simply, well, yes, he can be merciful.
God is simply merciful. Why the crucifixion? Why can't God say, I'm merciful. I know you and your intention. I know that you're human and that you sin, right? But
I think he's been very successful for a long time. But I don't think it has nothing to do with bias. I also think it has a lot to do with bias. It's not, bro, because I don't think nobody will argue about his success for 16 years. Like, no, I think it had a lot to do with it. It had nothing to do with that. If rap was underground right now, it wouldn't be there.
I have business.
Yeah, man. I'm back.
I'll be very boring the next time, but we're gonna have a great event, and you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you, President Trump. There's a report in New York Post that his assailant assembled his weapon somewhere on site at the hotel. What do you think about that? And I ask respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening?
Well, I've studied assassinations, and
Interesting question, right?
why do you think this came?
but let the other brothers talk. Like sometimes they put their foot in their mouth, but try to bring them right back to the topic. And that's why I was trying to cut off the beam when he asked him. I was like, let me land with him because it sounds like he's going to agree with majority party. It sounds like he's going to agree with majority of the things that I was going to say anyway. And the brother actually turned out to agree with majority of the things I said. So therefore, like I said before we even had a conversation with Prince, I said, Prince, it sounds like you have a discussion with somebody else. So therefore,
Anyway, King. Oh yeah, so I went to Harry's school on Arthur Harry Cameron this day. I got there, it was so motherfucking packed. There was no way I was sitting. I had this.
I said, do you know who these people are? And you said, no, I don't. Who are these? So people that you don't know. I mean, so you're basically, like you said,
that's being emphasized back here in this section. And so again, right here, we're not doing that. That's
You guys already know. We talk about this criminal syndicate all the time. They're the ones who have targeted American presidents in the past. Yes. Yes. And they're the ones who are targeting President Trump right now. Yes. Yes. However, the way in which they're targeting Trump is it's a multi-layered strategy they've got going. They've got a psychological operation running that's convinced people to hate Donald Trump. They suffer from a condition, we call it TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, perhaps you've heard of it. Those people used to be normal until their brains were washed by the mainstream media. What do you think? They didn't ask any questions. They were easily manipulated. They just believed what they were told by the media without questioning it. And those same mainstream media sources that we've now learned that they've been lying to us all about a number of issues, those are the same mainstream media sources that the people who suffer from TDS, they believe what is coming from those channels. And they're being conditioned into violent behavior. And some of them are acting on it. We are seeing a pattern of activity, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, they're targeting Trump with a lot of different ways. They have an entire psyop going, incentivizing people to be violent, to target MAGA supporters. They have a whole psyop going on that Trump is apparently a king. Well, if Trump is a king, how come you guys are ones that are actually acting like kings. They're the ones that put these unelected bureaucrats in place to control your lives through many different mechanisms. From finance to geopolitics to health to even what you think. They control what you think. Well, what you think is based on what you see.
Fucking any kind of gaslighting or fucking mental fucking bullshit.
Aisha, Sydney, JCC, CM, we were all wrong. And you were right. That French?
I'm like ashamed because I'm like really thought I was right. I'm back.
Sorry, Randall. We
What up, Wallace?
Yeah.
We're only up.
Is that room over?
Dude, I can't associate myself with you. This is like. Like, those motherfuckers are not nice. Like, I'm gonna roll out like you, and I'm gonna be the same. And you know what? I was before you was. And you know what? I came on here on Clubhouse, and I totally changed myself, and I was gonna be a real person. I was gonna be real.
Of course, the outcome we would like is that we stop them from being belligerent towards, ourselves. Primarily because we're the United States. They're about our own
It's
interests.
Pepe's world. It's a Pepe world. Another bonus Pepe episode in Pepe's world.
I got control.
That's not the outcome. Well,
You don't even know, John.
the Strait of Hormuz has been shut down. How easy can you look at that?
All right, everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode in the Progressive Movement House. This is another episode of Pepe Never Shuts Up!
And they have done so by using peroxide
I've been reading poetry, and I've been doing the best for myself. And you
to
don't
go
even
out
know
and force their way. They
John,
were able to go around the U.S. blockade about a week.
That's my experience of following you.
Who's speaking? I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, it's Marshall.
Man, you ain't gotta apologize. Man, you my brother. So, all that's about money. I think my concept was that Trump does stuff about money. So he's bad. Because he's in the market. Guess what I am? In the markets. So, I look at what he says and what he literally does. It's two different things. Because when it gets to the edge of a decision,
One of his delinquents.
Why don't you just update your PTR with my photo? It'd be so funny.
at the end of the day, we got bills to pay. Right? So, is a reality. So when you talk about the Strait of Hormuz, we are balling in monopoly money. I don't ever know if any of you, I'm almost 60 now. I used to play Monopoly a lot. So our dollars, literally, is nothing but monopoly, subject to inflation. So you may say, what does that mean? That means that dollars don't mean nothing unless it's backed by something. In the night, does the dollar stand for? Oil. So why oil? Well, because before Saudi Arabia was Saudi Arabia was Arabia. Saudi. For who? They were in cahoots.
Cahoots!
Back the dollar sign.
That's a good word. That's a good word.
Still, like, leave their lineage to what added to the royalty.
All of the way. Yeah. Gold was the thing. Well, I learned that in law school. No, seriously. I learned that in law school, and what that means is that we got the biggest army and we can bomb your ass. That's what that means. Well, because there's two things that happened right after World War II after we dropped two freaking nuclear bombs on islands. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay? So what that happened was is that put a whole bunch of people on notice that don't let that happen to you. Okay? So everybody came to to have a treaty and to sign that shit. So we became the current at the time because we could drop a bomb. Point though. Here's my point. But
sight is keen as the hawk's. By my head I invoke I am the only begotten child of my father and mother. My father is dead. My mother bore me with
rotten child of my father and mother. My father is dead, my mother. For me we live and pain and fear. By my body I invoke thee. About me shine the diamonds of radiance, white and pure. By the brightness I invoke thee.
sign at each abracadabra. Remaining in the sign, the invocation concludes. Therefore I say unto thee, come thou forth and dwell in me, so that every spirit, whether of the firmament, or of the ether, or of the earth, or under the earth, on dry land, or in the water, of whirling air, or of rushing fire, and every spell and scourge of God, the vast one, might be thee. Mine is the head of the hawk, abracadabra, and ends. 6, I bear the rose and cross of life and light, giving the sign at each abracadabra. Remaining in the sign, the invocation concludes. Therefore I say unto thee, come thou forth and dwell in me, so that every spirit, whether of the firmament, or of the ether, or of the earth, or under the earth, on dry land, or in the water, of whirling air, or of rushing fire, and every spell and scourge of God, the vast one, might be abracadabra. You came like dawn in my hands, soft but stronger than I will. My fear turned gold in your eyes, and my whole night broke in two. I was lost in the noise, now I'm learning how to stay close to your quiet light in the middle of the day. Stop thinking, let it fall. Take the deepest breath of them all. Hold it close. Don't run from the feeling. One more second. You can start believing. Wisdom of God. Now it's joy. Wisdom of God. Now it's love. Wisdom of Your touch is a steady rain on the dust of who every wound gets named and it fades in. I don't need 1,000 signs when your name is in my chest. One deep breath, one brave step, and the rest can be blessed. Stop thinking, let it fall. Take the deepest breath of them all. Hold it close. Don't run from the feeling. One more second. You can start believing. Wisdom of God. Now it's
Anti-vax like me is not welcome to this stage at. He loves you horrible.
I have lavender stuck in my teeth. Who leaves actual lavender blossoms in a fucking damn?
Yeah, I'm not that close to her, really.
Yeah, actually, that was the first time she was missing from that room in the year, 9 months. I've been dipping in and out of that room, and nothing was said. I hope she's well.
Yeah, me too. There's that whole, like, everyone wants to go where everybody knows your name, but you also like to go where people will notice if you're not there, right? Just, I kind of noticed her not being around for the last week or so.
That's beautifully said.
Wow, this is not funny. I feel for the family. I don't know if I would be talking about my brother. Y'all would have to have me like in handcuffs and shit before I be giving any information on my brother. I don't know, y'all.
Is Cal State Dominguez Hills, that's by Compton, right? Is that by Compton?
I thought it was by Carson.
Is it by Carson?
Cal State Dominguez is Carson. Carson, Harbor City.
I see where it's located.
Well, Compton's not far from there.
Yeah, Compton, because they call Dominguez Hills. That's like a fancy Compton. They call it.
No, that's a good school now. When it first opened, they were calling it that, but it's a pretty decent college now. What did he get from Dominguez? What kind of his master's?
Yeah, I think he got he got his master's. It's been on the news all day. It's been on the local news.
Yeah, that's true, Amari, because I have not been looking at the news all day. I'm like running the room on clips because I've been sitting here trying to figure out what's going on. So he graduated from Dominguez. I thought he went to what's that school? What was it? Holly Pomona? Where did he go?
Caltech. He went to
Caltech.
he got a bachelor's from Caltech.
Okay, Caltech. Okay.
Yeah, Caltech, and that's Pasadena, right? Yeah, that's Pasadena.
And that's a good school, right? Caltech?
That's like one of the top.
Better than Holly Pomona?
Oh yeah, isn't that like the MIT of the West?
Huh? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Caltech has got to be in the top 10.
Oh, I thought it was Holly Pomona.
Nationwide.
Well, he's a smart guy. We probably will never, because he's not cooperating, right? So his story, I would love to know. What sent you over the fucking edge? What, because I'm not buying this group he belonged to. Did you hear me talk about the group that he said he belonged to? I'm not buying that. The one from the 1870s, the Wakers or whatever it was, We Be a Wolf. Did you hear about that group he belongs to?
Nah, I heard about a group, but that's so busy. I haven't been. I'll be honest with you. I've been. What's today? Monday. This happened on Saturday. Yesterday I was busy. Today I didn't get a chance to. So I'm getting all my news from y'all today, for the most part.
Oh, okay. Thanks a lot.
Well, this is the best. This is good news. This is you get the real. You get the really real.
Well, I just say he's cooked. Now with her in that position and she thirsty to the mofo to put blacks away, this guy's cooked. 100%. So I feel sorry for him. But she had the pipe bomb dude too. That's why I said what happened to him, because she was in that position when the pipe bomb guy was arrested. So ain't heard a peep about him.
Do you think Judge Farrell's doing a good job? I mean, I don't want to trigger patient, but do you think she's doing a good job?
I think she's super thirsty. I think she's really super thirsty, and she wants to be seen and heard. And I don't like people like that. If she was smooth, kind of kick back, like we're gonna prosecute him to the limits of the law. Nobody got that. But she's super thirsty. We didn't even play the whole interview. She was talking for 8 minutes. I stopped after 3. So I'm sure she's been rattling on. Listen to the Fox interview she gave. That's the one I was playing. She's just really too thirsty. And then I don't think she likes people of color. I could be wrong. Everything is not about racism. I know. But anyway, I just get this vibe from her.
Well, hopefully, you said Lawrence O'Donnell that Trump is tired of the war tonight. I didn't get
That's what